I aim to motivate and inspire viewers to enjoy the clothes they wear as an expression of their personality and their beliefs. This is the Slow Wardrobe. Come and have a look. Hello, welcome to episode 86 of the Slow Wardrobe podcast. My name is Linda and I'm your host. In this episode, an update on my knitting antics, some information about possible changes in the UK postage system that I've been running, bit of information about how the aspect of this video is slightly different, and then we launch into Layercake with the new pre-order for the second half of February, and this is part of it. But first, knitting. Yes, so as you can see, I've got an almost finished object to share with you. The only thing, and really the only thing missing on this project are the buttons. There are 5 buttonholes, and I haven't chosen the buttons yet. I ran out of time to do that before recording this. The whole recording this week is a bit of a story in itself, but about that more later. So the buttons are coming still, but apart from that, it's been a really quick knit of cardigan that I think I started with already last time, or I had just been swatching, I don't know. But I've actually knocked it out in the 2 weeks between recording the previous episode and this one, and that is because it was knitted on 5mm needles in an Aran yarn. As I told you last time, this was an Aran yarn that I bought. I pulled out of the back of a shelf at, what are they called again? Oh my gosh. I'll put it down here, sorry. Mind goes blank. There's a reason for the mind going blank, but again, more about that later. So I bought 6 balls of this, and therefore I knew that it couldn't be a really big, massive jumper unless I combined it with different yarns. And then I saw this cute little pattern that I really liked the look of, and again, no preparation. I've forgotten the name of that as well. I'll put it down below, sorry. But I finished it just yesterday evening, and rather than wet blocking it, it has just had a proper press with lots of steam. Here is the back of it. It's just a straight little cardigan, slightly A-line-ish, but that's just because of the way I've pressed it just now. Long sleeves for my long arms, and little bit of positive ease, but not much. It's going to be pretty fitted on me. If I have a chance and I manage it, I'll put a photo of me wearing it here, but you may just have to do with her next to me here wearing it for me for now. And I'll put a picture on Instagram if I later on, maybe this weekend, if I run out of time. So that's my finished object, and I absolutely love it. This is 100% woolen yarn with little colored wool neps in it, and a wool binder, a very thin wool binder that is visible up close. I'll show a close-up picture of it here to give you a better idea of how the neps work, and because they're not neps as in bubbles that stand out, they're just tiny little flecks of color that have been spun into the yarn, and then with the binder holding it all together. It was very easy to knit. I found it very pleasant to knit, and I got used to the bigger needle size quite quickly again, considering that I'm really used to knitting with very thin needles most of the time. And when you do that, then even a 2.5mm or a 3mm needle can feel thick. Let alone a 5mm needle. But of course the upside of that is that work grows very quickly, and I really put my head down and managed to knit the last half of the last sleeve yesterday evening, so I could show it as an almost finished object here to you today. I'm filming this literally hours before the episode goes live on YouTube, and there's a good reason for that again as well. More about that later. But that was the finished object. I have one work in progress that is worth sharing with you because I made progress on it since last time, and that is a second pair of socks that I was talking about last time already as well. I'm just halfway down the leg of sock number 2, and that is knitted in one of the Regia Stockholm colors that I still had in stash, like this yarn. Both of these were unearthed from deep stash. None of them are current yarns anymore. And the first pair of socks I knitted for myself out of a different color of this. And then this is going to be either for my husband or one of my boys. They both expressed an interest, so they can have a tug of war over them once they're done. And that's the only 2 projects that I've been working on because I really wanted to try and finish this one in time for today's episode. And there has been no other knitting or crocheting whatsoever in the last 2 weeks. And that's partially because I've been trying to cram in so many other things at the same time. So that's knitting and no crochet. Now on to a couple of other things, starting with a bit of an update on the shipping of orders in the UK. Most of the mainland UK orders, at least the ones with a value of over £40, get shipped using DPD Local, and the others will go with Royal Mail, as go most of the international ones. There are some international orders, if they are heavier than 2 kilos, then they are shipped using a courier, but otherwise they'll go with Royal Mail. Now, the whole DPD thing has served me well, I think has served my customers well, and one of the things I like so much about it is the fact that DPD gives you a 1 hour delivery window. And for the Royal Mail orders, I just had a drop and go account. I would just get them all labeled up, take them to the post office, and they would do the rest. Then, with the international drama of the hacking of the Royal Mail postal system, their software system last month, and the problems that created in terms of sending international parcels, I found out in the process of looking what the alternatives were, that there is a different system within Royal Mail that I just didn't have access to with my drop and go account, and that allows me to send parcels with a notification of delivery, and it's a fast overnight service. So the advantage that I realized that has is that the Royal Mail service, whether it's letters or parcel, but that delivery service, of course, already exists regardless of what courier services do. And one of the advantages of using the Royal Mail service as opposed to a courier service is that I then no longer contribute to the busyness of the courier service. Of course, those people need income as well, but there's also rather a price difference. The prices of the courier service of DPD have been going up very gradually, and my prices have been not quite keeping pace with that. So at the moment, I actually end up paying DPD Local more than what I charge you all when I send out one of the Layercake or more expensive yarn parcels. So the advantages of using Royal Mail is that the costs will come down, and obviously I'll be able to pass those costs on to you, so my shipping costs will go down. and I hope that's good news to you as well. I'm in the process of setting up an account with Royal Mail, which takes a little bit of time, but I've been experimenting with their system already, even without having that account with them yet. So as February pursues or progresses, and definitely into March, you'll see more of the parcels coming through delivered by Royal Mail rather than DPD. So I hope you agree that that is an improvement and that is a change for the better. Please let me have your comments, because the changeover is not complete yet. Then, what's been going on and why am I so relatively ill-prepared for this episode? Well, a couple of things. Firstly, I decided that rather than having a computer here at the studio and a laptop at home and having to juggle content between them and syncing, etc., plus the fact that my computer here at work was starting to struggle with the workload I throw at it, especially when I am editing my videos, really started to ask for more capacity in a faster system. So I decided that rather than having two machines and lugging at least one of them back and forth, I've now got one machine, one laptop that is fast enough to run a more sophisticated editing program on. And I take that home and then I'll bring it to the studio, connect it to a bigger screen, and I'm off. The transition between the two computers to the new one was a serious labor of love. I was quite behind when it comes to just tidying up old files and throwing out old photographs, and I actually spent most of last weekend doing that. So I could finally transfer both the content of both of my machines to the new one and started running with that. Then the other idea, never do things in half, Linda, never do things in half. The other idea that came up in the discussion of changing the computers was my husband suggesting that I'm always working in the smallest room of the studio. That's my little office, and it's a pokey little walkthrough really. It's not even a proper office. And I was struggling with space there. I had in the past year installed a standing desk, but there was not actually enough space to move the chair out of the way so I could stand at that desk. So that kind of eliminated part of that whole idea in the first place. So it started to be a bit of a struggle as well. And my husband said, why are you in that smallest room? It's like, well, I need the rest of the studio for other things. He said, really? What about the first room when you walk into the door? Is that really being used to its best ability? And it's like, well, yes, I wind mini hanks there and hanks of linen, and I record the knitting section of the podcast. He said, right, but that room is a lot bigger than that. It's like, well, yeah, there's storage as well. He said, oh, come on, I'm sure you can use that space more cleverly. So, long story short, what was my former little office is now installed as a winding station, and in the front room where I'm sat now, there's still a corner where I can record the knitting section of the podcast, but to my left is now my desk with enough space to stand at it. It's a lot more light here. The only thing I have to do is put some of the kind of milky vinyl on some of my front windows, because for some reason I constantly have people standing with their noses flat against the window watching me work here. I don't know what that is. It's not as if I'm putting on a show. And they wave at me and they just stand there staring at me. It's unbelievable. So I'm going to nip that in the bud. There's no need to look through the window here. Nothing to see here. Move on. So I'm doing that still, but I followed that weekend of installing my files on my new computer with, rather than moving my new computer back into that old little office, I thought, right, let's have that new computer in the new room straight away, which of course then brought with it a massive shift of moving things around, especially since everything is quite full here. So it's not like I can empty out one room, move things across and then move things into the other room. It's literally empty a shelf here, hold it, put other things in there. So it's such a domino game, but I did it, and I spent a very big part of this week on it. And then in the middle of the week, I developed this incredible migraine. I still don't know what it was, whether it was the office move following on from the desktop tidy, I don't know, but I was really slowing down. And Wednesday and part of yesterday, Thursday, I was going at half speed, trying desperately to shift this headache. It finally went after 2.5, almost 3 days in the course of yesterday afternoon. But that meant that by yesterday evening, I was full of beans again. I could finish my knitting, and I was ready today to record this podcast. There was only one other thing throwing a spanner in the works, and that is that one of the reasons that I was upgrading my computer system was the fact that I wanted to use more sophisticated software to do the editing on. So instead of using iMovie, which is like the step up first level of video editing that you can do within Apple programs. It really is for home movies, but that's what I've been using all this time to edit my podcasts. And instead of iMovie, I now use Final Cut Pro, which I installed on the new laptop that I just bought. Final Cut Pro is a more professional editing program that is also created by Apple. So in terms of some of the controls and some of the transitions, etc., they're very recognizable between iMovie and Final Cut Pro, which is why I figured the transition from one to the other one would be easier than to go to a program like Premiere Pro, which is by Adobe. That would have been my alternative. But I figured that if I would have to build in the time to learn how to use Premiere Pro all the way from scratch, it would cost me so much more time than having to scramble into Final Cut Pro, at least recognizing part of the interface. So that's what I'm doing. I'm using Final Cut Pro, and having moved from one computer to the next, having moved the office, of course I had to make it a 3-in-1 by also editing this episode in Final Cut Pro rather than in iMovie. I had to try and do it all in one go. No wonder I got a headache, right? Anyway, so that means that I did not only record the Layercake section of this podcast until early this morning, but I'm now finishing up the recording with the knitting section. That then gets edited. I've already, because it's halfway through the afternoon on Friday, so I've already edited the Layercake section, which is quite long. So it's going to be a long episode. I think I should completely redo my introduction and my finish of the podcast, but I'm not sure I've got time for that. So if those all sound a little bit different, it's because I'm literally having to import them from iMovie, drop them into Final Cut Pro, and stick them on the beginning and the end of a Final Cut Pro edited video. So bear with me. Hopefully I will catch up by next episode and it will all run more smoothly and look more professional, hopefully. But for now, so far so good. With a bit of luck, within 2 hours, you'll be able to watch this video on YouTube, and I'm off to edit this. You stay here, and if you're ready for some Layercake news, here is the Layercake Joy Jacket with its skirt to go with it. Enjoy. Oh, just a little bit overexcited to share the new pre-order with you. Here it is, Pure Joy. So that's what we called it, the Joy Jacket. It was pure joy to work on this jacket. It had been brewing for quite a while. And then when I got the new herringbone linens in, I thought, yes, early spring, jacket, wrap jacket. I'm still in a wrap mode, guys. We had the wrap skirt and we had the wrap dress. Now we have a wrap jacket, but it's rather a versatile one. I'll show you now. Look at this baby. Ta-da! What do we think of this? 2 in 1. With or without the arms rolled up. As you can see, if I don't roll them up, they're just about the right length for me, which means that they are just about a great length for all of you, especially if you then roll them up to have the other side peeping out as it does with this little tulip shaped shawl lapel. This of course is on purpose. We've kept this lapel shawl collar really small so that you can actually wear it all the way closed like this, or you can roll it over just a little bit, or you can roll it over more. And of course, with a little bit of steam, you can help keep this in place when you're wearing it, as it's almost like a dinner jacket, as you can see. And in terms of size, this is a true one size fits all. You can see it there on a Skinny Mini in one of the other colors, because there's 4 in total. And you can see the other 3 right there. So we have Pansy, the purple. All of them have as a contrast color the undyed linen that I've got on the outside now. And that is because the herringbones are all existing Layercake colors except for this one. This is a new one. Pansy is like a reddish purple rather than a very blue purple. So it's very nice and spring-like, and together with the undyed, it becomes a very nice soft purple that is very suitable for a very broad range of complexions. So Pansy is a new one, but then the other 3 are Chartreuse, again with undyed, then the blue that is in Magpie, also with undyed, and last but not least, Steel at the end there. With Steel, I've got the herringbone on the outside. With the Magpie, I've got the undyed on the outside. And here, obviously, is the Chartreuse on the outside. So 4 colors and effectively 8 jackets because of this dual-sided thing. Shall I turn it around again? Do my party trick once more. And then, of course, you can see what goes with it. I'm giving a lot away by putting it all on the girls like that. But I think it's really useful to see the colors next to each other, because you can chop and change with them. You can really play and wear them together. Of course, that always goes for Layercake anyway, being able to wear lots of the different Layercake garments and colors together. And when I made these jackets, or when Andrea made the samples for me, this was all just before Christmas. So we went on Christmas break on such a high, just having finished these and being so happy with them. So when we went on a Christmas break, over Christmas, I had one of them at home on a mannequin so I could keep looking at it, keep mulling it over. I thought it really would be nice to have a bottom with it that really goes with it. And of course, an easy solution would have been to just grab baggies and make baggies in the new herringbone colors. But we've got this little Orphan Annie skirt that is so underutilized in the collection, and because of its paneling, I thought it would be a wonderful backdrop for the jacket because we can play with the paneling. And the bottom of the skirt, which what you kick against and which gets swept along the most, making that out of one of the really hard wearing fabrics, the undyed plain weave linen, of course makes the whole skirt more hard wearing because the slightly more delicate herringbone is kept for the middle section. But I will show you more of the skirts. I just wanted to try and start with one of the colors worn with a play suit in one of the brights. I'm going to show you all the different colors worn together, swapping and changing them, and wearing them with some of the other Layercakes, some bright and some neutral, to show you that whatever you choose to wear one of these jackets with, it'll go a treat with your existing Layercakes. Here comes swap number one. Here is another very recent addition to the range, the cotton baggies in the beautiful lighter grey color, which of course is very close to the undyed linen. So showing here the jacket still in the pansy color, and then with those light contrasts popping out, and then just thrown over. Great for at home as well, this outfit, of course, thrown over an anytime top in the same grey color, and then the grey baggies. What do we think? Shall I show you the skirt that goes with this? Because of course I can add the skirt to this even without taking the baggies off. Again, when it's still cold, then the baggies are a really good underpinning, and because they're so skirt-like in the way they wear, then wearing them underneath the skirt is lovely and warm, and will take you through the coldest weather, because of course with the baggies being closed at the bottom, they really keep the air that they trap inside, so they're lovely and warm. And then with an extra skirt layer over the top, perfect. I'll show you. So for those of you who don't know the skirt that well, let me tell you a little bit more about it. Like I said, it's built up out of panels, and it doesn't just have that natural edge at the border, it also has it at the top. It's got an elastic waistband, and it's got an extra feature. Why don't I open this? Makes it easier. It's got an extra feature like so many of our Layercakes do. Apart from the big pockets, it also has this fold, this extra pleat. It's got ribbons that you can undo like such, that end up making the skirt slightly wider. Of course, you can put these on the inside. You can take this one off altogether. They're loose. It just has a couple of little loops. But by taking the pleat out, the whole thing goes more flat. And by putting the pleat back in, of course, you make the skirt more fitted around your bum. And it creates this extra, like you say, see? You end up nipping a couple of inches out of the waist, out of the elastic, and then you fold those over by closing the other two ribbons, and that creates like a walking pleat that just gives a little bit of extra interest to the front of the skirt and makes the whole thing sit a little bit more neat, because it's slightly more fitted around your hips and bum, like this. And depending on what you're wearing, you may prefer that. So if I close this up again, as you can see, we've played with contrasts with these little tabs as well. So the bow that's on the outside contrasts with the fabric that it's sitting against, really to play with the different colors. And then the skirt is supposed to be full length, so down to your ankles. And of course you can then play with the jacket, wearing it either this way or the other way around. I'll show it to you the other way around. So here it is the other way around, with the undyed linen on the outside. And of course you can add more layers to this too, because with this jacket you can wear it open, you can wear it as an extra springtime jacket for outside, or you can wear it more like an indoor top like I'm wearing it now, but it means you can put extra layers in between. Let me show you an extra layer also to show you what happens with the skirt with those panels when you're wearing like a tunic over the top. Here we go. So here's a smock in dark teal. On purpose, a very different color from the pansy and the natural, and I could have grabbed any one really. I could have gone for a grey or for a brighter green, for blue, for purple, anything really. They just go together like all layer cakes do. That's the whole idea behind them. You can swap and change them and make a very varied wardrobe with a relatively small number of pieces. Sustainable and repeatable and wearable, mendable. The idea is that you love these pieces for a long time and making it possible to wear them together without having to be really discerning about shapes and colors. Makes that a lot easier. It just makes it fun and joyful to grab a combination from your wardrobe in the morning, throw it on, and feel great about it. So this of course again is with the natural outside, but I can turn it around if I want to see more of the purple of the jacket. Can turn it back again. I won't keep doing it forever because it makes me very warm, obviously, in front of the light and with all my layers on, because of course I still have the trousers on as well. I've got the trousers under the skirt. So a pair of the cotton baggies, then the skirt, the anytime top, the smock, and then the jacket, in this case with the purple on the outside. But I could even grab one of the other jackets and wear one of the other jackets with it. Would look great as well. In fact, I'll do that now. Opening it up so you can see what that is like. And because the herringbone especially is such a nice drapey, floppy fabric, you can see that it sits on you depending on your body shape underneath. I am bigger, I am taller, so the jacket is more boxy and looks wider on me. But when you are a size 0 in Layercake, you've got narrower shoulders, for example, then the whole thing flows with your body, but it skims like all Layercakes do, so they always end up looking really nice on your body rather than grabby. They kind of skim, as you can see. So let's try one of the other colors, shall I? Here we go. So here's the steel, nice and soft and subtle steel, one of the only 4 colors that was already existing in the herringbone, but we had sold out of it completely. I think we had a couple of baggies left. So if this is the color you prefer, you like a matching set, you don't like the skirt, then a pair of the steel herringbone baggies will be ready to go with it for you already. Baggies in the other colors are to follow, but we've given the skirts first dibs this time because they make such a beautiful, elegant spring outfit, and because we haven't done anything remotely enough with the skirts because they are so lovely and so versatile. So back to the outfit. Steel jacket with the pansy skirt, let me take away the smock in between so you can see the two different herringbones together. Instead of matchy-matchy, there'll be a little bit of contrast, but it's still herringbone, and of course they still have the undyed linen in common. Steel on the outside, undyed on the inside with the pansy skirt. Let me swap it around for you again so you can see the undyed. But I mean, isn't this beautifully and soft? I really like this combination. And of course, this jacket could go with any of the 4 skirts, and you'll see with the swapping and changing that I do, you can really interchange them, all of them, because they all have the undyed in common. So showing the same outfit with the undyed on the outside, and then that slightly darker contrast of the steel herringbone now on the inside of the jacket. Here we are, which of course is also really nice in combination with the anytime top. I'm going to start changing the tops. It's not just this anytime top color that looks good. I'm going to grab one of the white ones actually, because I hardly ever show you the white top and I'm not sure why. Going into spring though, white, wonderful little pop underneath any of your other layer cakes, whether they're bright or neutral in color. Just like a bit of awakening, bit of ice as well still, because it's still cold, but white is a really, really nice little pop of color, even though of course it doesn't have any color. So here we go, next outfit. So the skirt in the steel herringbone as well, and then with the steel jacket. I wanted to show you the skirt before swapping it out for the baggies, so you can see how the silhouette changes from a skirt to baggies when you go for a matchy-matchy outfit. And I've gone for the white anytime top. This is a white anytime top in size 1. So you can see that it's a little bit more generous on me. I had this size 0 on, which is quite tight on me at the moment with my weight gain over Christmas. So that's the size 1 anytime top on me. You can see I've got some positive ease. It's not tight or fitted anywhere. And you can see that it's got that slightly longer length than the love top. I'm going to show you the love tunic as well, by the way, because of course that's been another recent introduction, and that's a wonderful combination with these new skirts as well. But first, let me swap out the skirt for the steel baggies. Here they are, steel baggies in the herringbone with the jacket, the Joy Jacket. And I must say, I have worn the, which ones do I have? The black herringbone baggies a lot this winter with one of the cotton cocoon stretchy baggies underneath, those 2 layers together. First of all, because the herringbone is so drapey, they're a bit more slinky, and I really like it when they look quite poofy, which is what you get in the heavier linens. A little bit less strongly so in the herringbone because they're a bit more slinky. So if you like that roundish shape and it's still cold enough outside, then I really recommend putting a pair of the cocoon baggies underneath your herringbones to give a little bit of extra body, and they are so nice and snuggly because of the fabric being so soft and so drapey. And of course you get that extra layer. So heartily recommended. But we've got some of these in stock, and I just noticed we've got some of the natural colored baggies in this small natural check on sale. So I will add that as well to this outfit so you can see what that looks like. If you've been having your eyes on one of those baggies and you weren't sure, then maybe in combination with the Joy Jacket, it's just the thing for you. Let me show you. Here they are. Like, still with the white top underneath. So if you think, well, actually you find this a little bit too white now, because of course the whitest white in the baggies is still slightly creamy, as the linen always is. So of course you might find that this then makes too much of a contrast, so you can then tone it down with one of the more subtle colors. I will show you. Just in case you thought I was going for another natural or a very pale color, no, a subtle color doesn't have to be pale or light or very colorless. Here is the beautiful damson color that we just recently introduced in the Love Tunic. This is the Love Tunic, as you can see, so you get an idea of the difference in length between the Joy Jacket and the Love Tunic, and you can see what happens when you allow the points of the Love Jacket to just hang down. You can close it like this as well, of course, and have it sitting on you this way, with or without the collar folded back. As you can see, we have purposefully left pockets off of the Love Jacket because we wanted to make it completely reversible, and adding pockets would have made that more complicated. It was also made it more heavy, and it's heavy enough as it is. So now this color in here has got a bluishness to it. It's because it's the blue that is in Magpie, and you can see that that bluishness is really picked up by the blue in Damson. But we have a herringbone with Magpie blue in it, so let me show you that with this outfit. It just creates for a slightly stronger color than the Joy Jacket in the steel, but still subtle and quite calm. Color number 3, ink. Called it ink rather than Magpie, not to confuse it too much, because of course this is the blue out of Magpie, but it doesn't have the black to ground it and darken it. Instead, it's got the natural, which of course lightens it. And against the Damson, if you see it closely in lots of light, then you can actually see that the blue in Magpie has got a tinge of green to it, rather than going into the red direction and going more into the yellow direction. And it's not so much that they contrast when you see them next to each other. They complement each other very nicely. And of course, like I said, it really picks up the color in the stripe of the natural baggies. If you think, well, this is all getting a little bit too dark, of course, then you can wear a darker bottom, or you can swap it around again. Change it and wear the lighter color on the outside, so you still have the matching effect of the herringbone on the inside of the jacket, and then the lighter color of the very neutral undyed picking up the lighter colors in the baggies. Do we like? Okay, so enough of the natural neutral colors. I'm going to bring in some more bright colors. And I also have color number 4 to show you and play with as well. But let's keep going with this beautiful blue-green first and add a pang of color to it. Let me show you. So, pansy skirt, love dress in the large bright check, which of course we are just producing for those of you who've ordered one. Thank you for all your orders. And the Joy Jacket in the ink colorway, the bluish colorway. Shall I show the other colors with the large bright check? Well, you've seen, of course, the first one that I showed. You've seen the pansy with the large bright check. Let me show the yellow one. Yellow chartreuse. Here we go. So for all of you who believe you can't wear any yellow tones because they wash you out, have a look at the chartreuse herringbone. The undyed linen in the herringbone, of course, pulls back, softens the chartreuse. And I'll show you this in combination with the chartreuse dress in a moment to show you how that color changes as a result of the introduction of the undyed. But look at the freshness of this outfit. If this doesn't say daffodils and early spring, I don't know what does. Speaking of which, another nice color combination is shown all the way there to your right on the model that is furthest to the right. That mannequin is wearing one of the apple colored herringbone baggies. So if you already have herringbone baggies at home in different colors, again, you'll find that these new colors work perfectly with it, because those herringbone baggies also all have the undyed linen in it already. So all of the new herringbones go perfectly with your existing baggies. So if you love the idea of a joy jacket, you love the idea of a whole outfit, you don't like wearing skirts, for example, then your existing herringbone baggies, either the ones that I have in stock or the ones that you have at home already, are a perfect combination with the joy jacket to make a whole outfit. And I will promise you the coordinated baggies will come in due course. We do these pre-orders so that we can really focus and concentrate the production to pass on a bit of a discount to you, because I do, of course, realize the cost that is involved in producing in England and not sending the garments abroad to be made there. Same goes for the fabric. This is fabric that is spun, the linen is spun and woven and washed all within the EU. So it doesn't come from very far. I always try to minimize the carbon footprint that we leave as much as possible. Hence the story about trying to change the shipping that we do within the UK. But back to the original story. Oh boy, I get waylaid all the time, don't I? Back to the original story. With the concentration of the production, I try to pass on as much of a discount as we can to keep our overheads as low as we can, and therefore our cost base as low as we can, and make these things as affordable as we can, knowing in advance that you'll have years of wear out of them. And I know that compared to some of the brands that I like and admired most, this jacket would be priced at least twice the price, if not more. So, what else did I want to say about the... Oh yes, chartreuse, that's where I was. Chartreuse and bright colors, and showing the large bright check with the chartreuse jacket instead of the ink jacket. That's how I got here in the first place. Tangents, here we come. Okay, let's do another bright color, shall we? Another play with layers. Still in the chartreuse, but now underneath it, a love top in the beautiful magenta. It's kind of color of the year, I think. Isn't that fortuitous? Maybe I've got a feel for this. Let's hope so. Anyway, so this is a love tunic in the natural linen. So I'm actually repeating the lines that the skirt gives me with the natural and then the soft purple, then natural again with the lovely bright magenta, and then a completely different color, but again bringing the natural back. And you can see how the natural linen throughout this outfit is pulling those colors together. And that is part of the whole idea behind the herringbone and the use of natural linen in it, that it ends up being a proper neutral, but also a bit of glue for the different colors within the collection. So I can wear it this way, of course, and I can wear it the other way around. This also gives me an opportunity to show you that love top and love tunic worn on top of each other. You can see that the length of that band of love tunic that comes out from under the love top stays the same throughout. The love tunic is literally a love top plus 8 inches in length. And I've already had requests for cocoons in that same kind of love tunic length. So they'll be coming at some point this year. Give us a chance, we'll do them. But back to the outfit. If you want to hide a little bit of this beautiful straw color of the chartreuse and natural blend, then of course you can wear it the other way around and show more of the natural linen with the outfit. Just having this pop on the inside. So I hope that illustrates a little bit what I was trying to explain with the use of the natural linen in between. But a couple more colors to show you before I sign off. I know it's a very, very long episode. I apologize, but I just have so much to show you and to tell you about, and just to share with you about the love jacket and the beautiful herringbone panel skirt. Chartreuse, that's what I wanted to show next to this herringbone. Here it comes. Wow. I'm taken aback with how good this looks, actually. Not that I was not expecting it to look good, but the petite length of this love dress is the only length that I had to show you in the chartreuse, because as you know, we far from keep a complete set of sizes and colors in stock because it wouldn't fit and I would not be able to afford it. Hence all of the making them as we go and as you order routine that we're still in, and that works so well from a sustainability point of view. So a chartreuse jet dress in the petite color, worn with the chartreuse skirt, panel skirt, and then the chartreuse and undyed straw colored jacket, Joy Jacket. I'm wearing the chartreuse on the inside because I want to show you the contrasts, but you can see here at the bottom, well, you can see it here as well, and I open the jacket, that the chartreuse is kind of toned down and pulled back a little bit by the undyed, but you can still see very clearly that it's the same kind of fresh spring greeny yellow. I love this combination. I think it's beautiful. It's really subtle. And of course that goes for so many of the combinations that you can make with these jackets. And again, if you want to turn up the color, all you have to do is turn it inside out and bring more of that fresh green out into the open. Or of course you can go for one of the other jackets. Like I said, the one with the ink one with the magpie blue in it it's a kind of greenish blue, so that's another beautiful color to combine with this. Or I could wear this with the apple herringbone baggies, for example, or even the teal ones, because of course we had the teal herringbone as well. So keep this in mind as a silhouette, a shorter dress with a longer skirt, so you get that balloony effect, and then the kicking out of the skirt at the bottom for a full-length outfit that is far from traditional, but ends up looking really, really chic and classy, I think. Let me know what you think of it, of course. So I want to go back to one or two of the really darker neutrals before signing off, because it's not all just about the lighter colors. So let me bring in one of the darker tones. Same outfit, same petite length chartreuse love dress underneath, but then over the top a tulip dress. This is a tulip dress in a size 2. If I would have taken a size 1, it would have been fine as well. Size 1 love dress, size 1 tulip dress, but I haven't got one. So this is a size 2 tulip dress in the charcoal cross, one of our real basic colors, super versatile, nice and dark, but not too harsh, and then worn with the rest of the outfit unchanged. So here you can see, again, a regular length dress like I had with the large bright check, but here in a neutral, and then with the 2 colors of the panels of the skirt, panel skirt underneath. I think that just looks so nice to have those two colors, and you can see that the width of the panels is quite similar, so it's a very nice balanced outfit in terms of how the colors combine, and then bringing in that dark color of the charcoal. Now, any of the dark colors would work. Black, of course, would work a treat as well with this outfit. I just don't have a black dress to show you in a size that fits me, but you can imagine that with black you get even more contrast, so the drama gets turned up even further. Or in the dark teal, for example, or in the blue, any of those dark colors would work really well. Brown would work, but not just with this chartreuse combination, but with any of them. So am I there? Nearly there. There was one other fabric, the black gingham, that I wanted to show you, because of course that's another fabric that is woven with black. So let me show you a black gingham combination with one of these babies, and then I'll finally sign off. I hope I haven't bored you to death. Black gingham. This is a tabard that's in the sale at the moment still. The black gingham smocks are not in the sale, but the tabards are. This is a size 2. I'm wearing it with the steel Joy Jacket with the natural side on the outside, and I've popped on the ink panel skirt, which of course is the one color that I hadn't shown you yet. It's such a job to not just dress and undress myself, but the girls as well. So it's a mega marathon of dressing and undressing. I hope I haven't made it too long for you. But I just wanted to show you how effective a slightly stronger color in the skirt is, especially when you start playing with different colors at the top as well. And of course, something like the dark teal, for example, because that ink having a greenishness about it, then a dark teal smock or tabard would look fabulous with this as well. I could just keep going and make more combinations, but hopefully I've given you enough to be inspired with. I just wanted to show you how incredibly well the black gingham goes with any of the Joy Jackets really, as well as the skirts. Any questions, give me a shout. Oh, I do remember something that I forgot to say. The skirt comes in 2 lengths and 2 widths, 2 sizes if you like. This is the larger size and the longer length, which is about 40 inches. So it's really ankle length on me. And then the shorter one is 4 inches shorter. The idea is that you really end up wearing it as a full length skirt. If you want different proportions or different sizes, give us a shout. We will always accommodate that. But the standard sizes are 2 different lengths and 2 different widths. If in doubt, then check out the, there are tabs underneath the product description on every product page that say fit guide, and that give you measurements of which body sizes we associate with the different layer cake sizes of 0, 1, 2, and 3, both in terms of width as well as height. And then a fit guide for the measurements of the garments, because we are very aware, I'm one of the biggest culprits. I really like playing around with different sizes and different proportions. I very often wear my clothes oversized, so that's not also one of the reasons that we don't associate the numbering of the layer cake sizes with dress sizes. You should feel free to play with different sizes. This is a size 2 tabard, for example, and especially with a layered outfit like this, I really like the looseness of that, and I like wearing them oversized. So when you're on the cusp of sizes and you wear your clothes more fitted, again, give us a shout. We can make in between sizes if necessary as well. And in most cases, the difference in price is just dropping your loyalty discount. But apart from that, the prices are unchanged really, even though we make you a bespoke size. If we can't afford that, I will always tell you that in advance, so you know in advance what you're paying for. And the only other difference between some of our standard sizes and our bespoke sizes is that, of course, bespoke sizes cannot be returned because they're one-offs. Apart from that, I think that was finally it again, off my soapbox and step with my sizes and my fit guide. I hope you enjoyed this episode, and I'll see you again soon.